Embark on a journey that forever changed our understanding of life on Earth. Have you ever wondered how the countless forms of life around us, from the majestic lion to the tiniest bacterium, came to be? Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species isn't just a biology book. It's a masterpiece that unravels the mysteries of biological diversity and offers us a new lens through which to observe the natural world. This summary will guide you through Darwin's revolutionary ideas, explaining key concepts clearly and concisely. Get ready to discover how natural selection shapes species, how the struggle for existence drives change, and how the patience of time has sculpted life's complexity. We invite you to read this entire summary to get the most out of Darwin's powerful insights. Plus, in each chapter, we'll offer a practical recommendation on how to apply these principles to your own way of thinking and observing the world. This summary is structured into 4 chapters, each breaking down a fundamental facet of Darwin's theory. Chapter 1: Variation under Domestication and in Nature. Darwin begins his work by observing variation within species, both domesticated and wild. He shows us how animal breeders, or plant cultivators, through artificial selection, achieve specific and accentuated characteristics in dog breeds, pigeons, or corn varieties. For example, a pigeon breeder might select and cross only those birds with longer feathers or more vibrant colors, resulting in new varieties in just a few generations. This process demonstrates that traits can be inherited and that there is great plasticity within species. Extending this idea to nature, Darwin observes that variations also exist abundantly in wild populations. No 2 individuals are identical in a population, and these differences, however subtle, can be crucial. Imagine a finch population. Some might have slightly longer or stronger beaks than others, allowing them to access different types of seeds. In line with what's discussed in this chapter, you should consider closely observing small differences. In variations in any system, biological, social, or even personal. Recognizing that these are the raw material for any change or evolution. Chapter 2: The Struggle for Existence. This is perhaps one of Darwin's most raw and powerful concepts. The struggle for existence. All species produce more offspring than can possibly survive. A salmon might lay thousands of eggs, but only a few will reach adulthood. A plant produces hundreds of seeds, but most will never germinate or will be eaten. This overproduction creates constant competition for limited resources: food, space, sunlight, mates, and even escaping predators and diseases. Darwin isn't just referring to a physical, violent struggle, but to a subtle and constant competition. For instance, 2 types of trees in a forest compete for sunlight and soil nutrients. Those that grow faster or have more efficient root systems will have a greater chance of surviving and reproducing. It's this constant pressure that acts as a filter on the variations mentioned in the previous chapter. In line with what's discussed in this chapter, you should consider recognizing that resources are finite, and that competition, both in nature and in life, is an inevitable force driving adaptation and change. Chapter 3: Natural Selection, or the Survival of the Fittest. Here's where Darwin introduces the jewel of his theory: natural selection. Given the inherent variation in populations and the constant struggle for existence, those individuals with favorable variations, like those traits that give them an advantage in their particular environment, are more likely to survive, reproduce, and pass those traits on to their offspring. Take the example of giraffes. In an environment where ground-level food is scarce, giraffes with slightly longer necks might be able to reach leaves that others cannot. This would give them a survival and reproductive advantage. Over time, and across many generations, this small advantage accumulates, leading to a population of giraffes with remarkably long necks. Nature selects the fittest for a given environment, not consciously, but through the elimination of the less fit. Natural selection does not create variation, it acts upon existing variation. In line with what's discussed in this chapter, you should consider analyzing how certain characteristics or behaviors can offer advantages in specific environments, and how the persistence of these traits over time shapes the development of any system. Chapter 4: The Divergence of Character, Extinction, and Deep Time. Finally, Darwin addresses the long-term implications of natural selection. favorable variations accumulate over vast periods of time. Populations can diverge so much from their ancestors and from other populations that, eventually, they become new species. This gradual process is what Darwin calls the divergence of character or speciation. Extinction also plays a crucial role. New, better adapted species emerge. Less adapted species, or those that cannot compete effectively, are eliminated. Extinction is not a failure, but an integral part of the evolutionary process, opening up niches for new forms of life. For these profound changes to occur, Darwin emphasizes the need for deep time, that is, millions upon millions of years. Small variations and selection pressures, when accumulated over geological eras, can produce the astonishing diversity and complexity of life we observe today. The formation of a new species is not a sudden event, but the result of a slow and relentless process. In line with what's discussed in this chapter, you should consider valuing the importance of time and persistence in any significant change process. Understanding that profound transformations rarely happen overnight, in conclusion, On the Origin of Species is not merely a pillar of modern biology, it's an invitation to reflection. Darwin's vision shows us a world in constant flux, where life adapts, transforms, and diversifies through natural, unintentional processes. It reminds us of the interconnectedness of all species and our profound belonging to the tapestry of life on Earth. By understanding the principles of variation, the struggle for existence, natural selection, and vast geological time, we not only grasp the past of life, but also gain deeper insight into our own place in the present and the potential for future change. Dare to see the world through Darwin's eyes and discover the amazing story of life that surrounds us.